We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Batman 128. This is from the Rebirth line. This is part 4 of Failsafe, written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Jorge Jimenez, Tomeu Morey colorist, Clayton Cowles letterer, cover by Jorge Jimenez, associate editor Dave Walgos, Ben Abernathy editor. Cover's well done, but it has nothing to do with what's going on in the book. It's just a weird fire picture that would have related better to last issue. So Superman shows up, but Failsafe, being programmed by Batman, is of course designed to take down Batman, but also has defenses against all of the Justice League. So he's got some kryptonite daggers of sorts. Some other Leaguers show up and get their butts handed to him after Superman gets stabbed. Robin's got to drag them onto the jet to try and get them out of there, while the Leaguers are holding off Failsafe. Of course, they all get lured to a city block which was owned by Batman and is full of traps that have been apparently maintained throughout this entire time that Failsafe's been in storage. So all those failsafes are designed to take down the League, and Batman, being severely injured, makes a desperation play, and he's out of the game for 2 weeks. So, of course, Failsafe has taken over as the new Batman, I guess, and runs it like OMAC did back in the OMAC storyline. I don't really know what they're going for, but this is really looking like a bad knockoff of OMAC. Then there's a backup story about the origin of the Batman of and this one is written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Leonardo Romero, Jordie Bellaire on colors, Clayton Cowles letters, Dave Walgos editor. And this being a backup story is of course pretty rushed. I'm not a giant fan of the art. It's a half throwback to the 50s, which could be fine, but it just doesn't really work for the story they're telling, which apparently is something's going on. It looks like the Joker's not in his usual state, and this is early on in Batman's career. He's trying to cope with the fact that he got mind controlled by Professor Achilles Milo, and this alternate Batman is an attempt to deal with that kind of psychological manipulation. The idea is fine, it's just the art doesn't really match the story. It's kind of a dark story with this happy, shiny 50s art. The art in the main story is not bad. I think it's functional. Again, there's like the goofy action lines and stuff like that. And sometimes people's faces look a little weird, especially on Nightwing. But the story beats just don't really match up. There's too much forced action. It's not action that makes sense within the context of what's going on. They're destroying like all of Wayne Manor and parts of the city, and apparently nobody's gonna notice this, that there's a giant robot that looks vaguely like Batman trouncing through Wayne Manor, and then all these areas that Bruce Wayne happened to own at one point that apparently contain booby traps that nobody's ever found and have never malfunctioned in the years this thing's been in storage. But don't overthink it. If you look at it like a Fast and Furious movie, then it's an okay read for like $1 or $2, but I would not pay more than that for it. Even at cover price, it's not a good value. So I didn't get much out of this. I'm just not a fan. It really feels like Zdarsky's phoning it in, and the storyline feels like a rehash of OMAC, which I wasn't a giant fan of when it came out. So it's not the fun Billy Blank OMAC, it's the weird 52 one. So it just isn't working for me, and I'm not impressed. So I'm not going to recommend this unless you find it for $1 or $2. It's just not that interesting. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.